It's a giant book.
Which one?
It's Tim Ferriss.
The Tools of Titans? Yeah. Tools of Titans is really cool because, like, it's all reference type stuff. Like, you look up what you want to talk about, and it's like he's spoken with these people and does all this research, and he boiled it down to like the exact same things you just need to know, and that's it. And so it's just like an encyclopedia of how to like do shit or things to be concerned about. So
The giant book.
yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Just curious who published it.
Yeah, he was in Princeton and he dropped out. You know what was sort of neat about it was something that no one tells you about all those people that dropped out of school that no one ever points out because you always hear like, well, Bill Gates dropped out of college and blah blah blah. Yeah, but they all got like into Harvard and stuff. like yeah, they dropped out, but they got into Harvard. It's they're not the guy you see on Facebook going, well, our new anklet socks have more grip on the heel, and like that's not what they did. They're billionaires because they're incredibly smart. They devoted their time, and they were ahead technologically of where they would be able to learn in college. And no one's that way now.
It's just Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's just Zuckerberg. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. How you want to start this off?
I don't know. What do you think?
I guess we'll just introduce ourselves and
It's October.
yeah. Should we introduce ourselves up there? How do you want to do it?
It's going, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Do we need? What's up, Braden?
What's up, guys? It's October, and for us that means Rocktober. It's our take on Sober October. But God, I feel like I'm fucking this up already.
Why?
Okay, do you mind one more since I broke that
I
there?
don't care. Just go for it, man.
Well, buddy, Rocktober. Very excited about it.
Yeah, man.
That being said, it's our version of Sober October, which was your idea, which is killer. I love the idea, which was not. It's taking what they do with JRE and the guys with Sober October and deciding to
Just expand on it.
do our thing, apply our theme to it in an homage
Yeah.
to Joe and the guys. So, what's your goal with Rocktober right now?
I guess it's just to get as much done as possible and see how productive I can be without distractions
Nice.
like alcohol and other things. Just really getting goals on paper and just buckling down, I guess.
So, when you told me about this, which I love the idea, is it almost, I was thinking about it as like, let's see how much I can gear up to see what's sustainable so I know for the next month when I'm able to like carry over to that. Or is it just sort of like, were you thinking like just, I want to prove I can get this much done this month?
I just wanted to see how much I could get done and figure it out from there.
Nice.
So I thought it was a good excuse to wrap it into Sober October and just see what I could get done.
I love it. That being said, I'm trying to remember what your goals were. Let me just bring them up here. Nice. So under our challenges section on the website, we got these up here. So we have you right now as no sugar. It's like, what do you mean by no sugar? What are you constituting that as?
No refined sugar, no refined carbs.
Okay. Nice. Now,
So
with
like
that...
if I eat an apple, I'm not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, right, because it's like a natural source. Plus, what is it, green apples have like one of the lowest glycemic indexes. Okay, work out for some kind of physical activity 7 times in a week. Did you do it yesterday?
Yeah, I did last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tried. I couldn't get last night's done. I killed yesterday. Just couldn't get that done.
Yeah.
Get 4 mortgage transactions.
Got one yesterday.
Did you?
So.
Nice, man. Love hearing that. Invest money into your investment account.
Yeah, I'll probably do that on payday because I get paid on the 10th, so I'll just move it over
Is
when I
that
get paid.
like just into your Roth or?
No, just to the. We started those Ameritrade accounts, TD Ameritrade.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put something into there and start trying to build that up a little more. Because I already do a 401k and my whole life plan, which has cash value. So I already have other things. I have an annuity. So like, this is just something else.
Nice.
To build on.
So we'll come back to this real quick. I was talking. So Matt's investing with a guy who does very well with oil and gas investing. I think I told you he doesn't take anyone unless they're worth like at least $3 million to invest. And for some reason, he just connects with Matt. So he's helped grow Matt from like 25,000 to like 250,000 real fast. And Matt is doing that full time. And I talk to him daily about what he's doing. And so this morning he was talking about how he was trading futures in, I think, natural gas, and he's making average gains daily of about 150 to 200, which is great. So what is that? So if we were just at 150 times 5 days, so 750 a week, 4 weeks, that's like what? It's almost 2,000.
It's more than that, isn't it?
750 be 1,500. Oh, 3,000. It's almost, it's $3,000 a month. So I mean that's an extra 30. If he were to stay consistent on top of that without not increasing the money he's putting in, that's an extra 36,000 he's able to put into his account.
In his pocket. Yeah.
That's huge. And obviously you try to leave it in your investment account so you don't get taxed on it.
Yeah.
In fact,
be my first question.
Yeah, what's funny is like let's just say real quickly, because I feel like people don't really understand the power of compound interest. If you're taking a look, like let's say he's saying he's either starting with $10,000 or $13,000 right now. It's just what he's investing with daily. So if he has 10,000, and he's putting in an extra 36,000 a year, and he does that over 5 years, and the average market return is 8%, healthy growth, right? I mean, in 5 years, it takes him up to 242,000 just with that 10,000 to begin with. And if he just lets that ride, so let's just say he lets that ride and doesn't contribute anything else to it for the next 30 years, at 8%. That puts him at 2.4 million. So in 5 years, he could be done making his gains he needs to make, and he should, with average market return, be compounded up to about 2.4 million. And that's without him doing anything. So if he were to continue to do it, he should be a very wealthy man, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
how does that work? You don't get taxed on every transaction because you're buying and selling?
So my thought is, from my understanding, talking with the CPA, because it's invested in the market, you can't get taxed on what's invested in there. So all your gains, if you roll them over into more investments, you don't get taxed on capital gains. So I think I have to ask one of my clients, I think what he does is he makes his gains and he rolls them over into like safe mutuals or something like that as soon as tax time comes. And then after that, he takes them out and starts doing daily trades again. And then at the end of the year, he always reinvests all that. So, I mean, at some point, he can start taking money out that he wants to use, but he's going to get capital gains on it. So, I don't know.
Like, how does that, yeah.
I don't know how you even calculate that.
Well, because I know when you sell, just if you buy a regular stock, and say you hold it for a number of years, and you sell it, you have to report to the IRS what you bought it for and what it sold for.
I have no idea.
Like, I don't know.
All I know is his CPA is magic. So, however they do it, I'm sure that she's so good. I'm sure that they have a good system set up.
Yeah.
But I do know that. So Matt, right now, like I said, he only takes 10 or 13 to invest with. He was investing with his guy this morning and was able to make 161, and he got out. Oh my gosh, he bought pre-market natural gas stock and natural gas future, and he was supposed to get at 571. He got at 573, but when it got all the way up to 591, he was kicking himself because it would have been a $400 profit, $460. But he said, well, obviously we talked, and the fact that he was able to capture and get out was killer because he was 100% profit.
Yeah. I feel like if you're doing that, you can't look at what it went to, like what you missed out on. Like,
yeah,
you can't think about it.
That's gonna influence a bad trade next time.
Yeah, because then like you'll go outside of what parameters you set, and then that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, that's what in that book we were reading was talking about. But I'm really excited about that. Later today, he's gonna show me how to set up the TD Ameritrade paper trade a little bit better. Of course, in turn, I'm going to show you what he showed me, and then I'm going to try trading some of the things he's talking about, and then I'll show you what we're doing, and hopefully, all that together is going to be really good. Yeah. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And then, oh gosh, what was I going to say there? With that, as of tomorrow, TD Ameritrade is getting rid of all commissions.
I saw that email this morning.
Is that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's really cool.
That's really awesome. Because Matt didn't make a ton of money last month because it was like, I think his first full-time month. And he said he paid $600 in trades.
That was the other thing I was going to ask is, yeah, what's he paying in not just tax ramifications, but what about like fees to the brokerage?
Yeah, it was that commission. And he said he paid $600 in commission.
Does he use the same platform?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Thinkorswim is what yeah.
That's cool.
So he's getting it. He is using his. Is getting it all set up, and then whatever that guy's teaching him, he's teaching us. So hopefully all that together will be good. But your last goal on there. Sorry to break away from your challenges, man. I just thought I got really excited about that.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. Challenges. You said take your wife on 3 dates.
Yeah. So haven't done that yet, but we're only 2 days in, so.
Yeah, that's right. How many are you guys normally able to get away with?
I don't know. Never really tracked it, so
yeah.
I don't know. We just kind of, I don't know. We don't really go on dates too much. We just like hang out together. So I was like, well, it might be a good thing to like set that aside and like go do something.
Nice.
Just hanging out. Yeah. What about you? You copied that one, right?
Yeah, I liked that one a lot. I only went with 2, and one of them sort of a gimme. We already have a date set up, so I'm really.
So I'm not gonna lie. That's why I picked 3 because I already kind of had one set up. So I was like, yeah, well, that'll be a neat. So like I wanted to set not easy goals, but like something that was not outlandish, like something that's feasible and attainable in my mind. So like starting smaller maybe, and then like if I can accomplish that in October, like back to your original question, then like maybe I can build on that and start reaching for more once I realize that, oh, that wasn't that hard to do.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so like again, I've never really tracked that before, so it's like, I don't know. Maybe we already do 3. I don't know.
Yeah, so. That's good. That's smart.
That's what I was gonna ask you too about Matt. If does he like track every trade? Does he keep a spreadsheet or like track every move that he makes?
That's smart. I don't know. As a way to measure, you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, what would you be measuring?
Keep track of every trade.
Oh, okay. For tax ramifications or?
Well, that and just to see how you're performing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess you could see. There's a level there, I think, in the beginning it would make... I don't know if it makes sense to do it in the beginning. My thought is, are you putting importance on something because you can measure it? And I'm wondering in the beginning if it's going to cloud your learning, going like, oh, I could have done this better, blah, 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 versus being a seasoned investor and watching and seeing if you adhered to the rules that you had set. You know, that's what I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how much that would help and how much it wouldn't. I mean, they say the only way to like really calculate what's going on is to measure it, right? Like, what would you be measuring?
I don't know that I'd be measuring anything. I just want the data to look at, like just to see, every trade, like so that I know at the end of the year, oh, I actually did make money.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I don't know. Just capture. Maybe you can find data points in there and like, oh, every Tuesday was shit. So maybe I just won't trade on Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Like start finding patterns, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Do you watch Blue Planet or any of those things? Okay, so whenever we feed Owen, I always just put that on because I feel like it's better than me going through YouTube or something, because you're not supposed to, kids and screen time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I put that on there, and I didn't realize. Now, after watching like 3 seasons of all this stuff, it's like everything has its own place, and the smallest thing that something does here does affect over here. So I always wonder when we're saying this is what's important to measure. Like, oh, Tuesdays looked bad. It was like, okay, but like, why was the Tuesday bad? Like, what do we just correlation versus causation? Like, well, Tuesdays were always bad. Why were Tuesdays bad? Was it because like market reports were called on like Tuesdays, or that's what I always sort of wonder. Now I'm so concerned about all that stuff because I didn't realize like the smallest tiny things in the ocean, like they're such a fuel source for this, and they're there because of that, and everything. Yeah, it's crazy. So I feel like I don't know anything anymore after watching this show.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast about a lot of them about quantum mechanics.
Is that the Sean Carroll one?
Yeah. I forget what it's called. It's like Mind something. I don't remember. But yeah, it's his podcast. And I was listening to a couple that he put out, and just like, dude, it's gnarly. Everything is just like a soup. Is like when he's talking, is how I see it in my head.
Like, what do you mean?
Like nothing's separate at all. Like we're connected right now through energy and matter and everything. Like, so back to what you're saying, like the smallest thing can affect everything. Like that makes sense to me based on everything he was saying too, is like, yeah, everything's connected. There's no separation. Like even though there's space between us, like what's in that space? Air, other matter, like frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies, like radio waves. So it's like, there's perceived space. There's not really. Like if I move, like theoretically I'm moving and impacting the space between us. Like you could potentially feel that, right? Or it would have some causation to you. Whether
I have perception of it or not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I don't know. I was just like, man, our whole universe is just soup, just like a bowl of soup.
What you were saying that that you saw a lot of, was it Dr. Joseph Dispenza? Is that who it is?
No, Dispenza.
Dispenza? You were saying a lot of the things that you were reading in that book, Becoming Supernatural?
Mm-hmm.
You saw a lot of that, like, marriage with Sean Carroll's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, like, the premise of the ideas, like, I don't know that the science, like, matches, but, like, I think the thought process and, like, the idea behind it is kind of, like, I could see how they could go together, and it's not really separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's Joe Dispenza's take on things?
Well, basically, I don't want to, like, put him into a box talks or anything, and I haven't finished his book or listened to all of his stuff, so I don't want to like speak out of turn or whatever, but his thing is a lot of it has to do with energy and like electromagnetic frequencies and how your thoughts are producing them, and yeah, I don't know, his stuff is a lot more like manifesting, and he talks about the quantum realm and like all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it's all like energy and electromagnetic frequencies, and yeah.
Huh.
So it's just interesting how, you know, that I feel like manifesting gets a bad rap, and you know, it's all woo woo crap, but I think there's something to it. I mean, if you can think something and get a friggin' boner, like your thoughts are causing chemical reactions downstream to actually manifest something in our physical realm. Like, so why is it so outlandish to think that our thoughts can't affect like our energy that we're putting out there? Like, they can measure it. Like, your heart has electromagnetic frequencies, your brain has them. Like, we have a lot of neurons and electricity. That's how we operate. And like, why is it so weird to think that our thoughts and our energy that we're emitting can't affect other things around us all the way out to the universe?
Yeah, I wonder a couple things. One is that sort of like butterfly effect, because I can't imagine that the thoughts that we're having are creating like such an immense amount of energy. Like, I think something, and it creates a great wave that affects all frequencies in between, and then like you know it
start
affects
getting
you.
into the collective consciousness. So
Oh, yeah.
So like, you know, I mean, I think if you go down to the micro level, like if somebody is in a bad mood and they like yell at you, or like if you go to the store and somebody like shuts the door in your face and doesn't hold it for you, just either because they're a dick or they're being just oblivious or whatever, then your mood is affected. And it's like they might be carrying around, that might be a bad example, but if somebody's rude to you, like because of the way they're feeling and their thought process, like it can affect you.
Yeah.
Which then like maybe you're not in the best headspace, and then you can affect somebody else. So it's like, I don't know, it's all connected, you know. It's like those commercials where like the little girl like, oh sir, you dropped $1, and then he was like all nice, and then he held the door for the lady because he was happy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, I forget what that is, but yeah, so it's like the opposite, I guess. But I don't know, I just think that it's all connected, man.
What I would like is to see like Sean Carroll dive into like one of those books and like have a physicist like you know try to go through and try to make, I don't want to say make sense, but have their take on it as well. I would love to hear that, because I remember hearing, I'm not sure it was Sean Carroll on Joe's podcast or like another guy saying like, if you take a look at some of these things that are put out there, it's like the science is okay, but it's misinterpreted the wrong way. Like, there's that one that came out when we were in high school called "What the Bleep Do We Know" or something like that. And I think that one of the people on Joe's podcast referenced that one in particular and said something along the lines of, it was misinterpreted science. And so, not saying that that's the way that spins it is by any means, but I would love to have someone that is like in Sean Carroll's position, like go ahead and like just talk about that more or something like that. So again, idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, he, in his book Becoming Supernatural, he has a lot of like clinical studies that he references about like there are a lot of like psychological things, like there's one that was kind of interesting talking about the collective consciousness. It was at a university, they had a group of students in one building on one side of the campus, and then a separate group on the other side of campus, and they both gave them like a problem to solve, and they both groups as a collective had to solve some like word problem or something, or maybe it was a puzzle. So they solved it in relatively like pretty close to the same amount of time.
Okay.
Then they had a new group come in, and I think they left. I forget how it went, but somehow one of the groups that solved it, they had one somehow solve it quicker, and then they brought in a new group, and the new group over here solved it quicker without any influence. So like that, and they were measuring like electromagnetic waves at the time, and yeah, I don't know, I'm probably butchering the shit out of this, but it was an interesting thing that they were like measuring the electromagnetic waves and electro frequencies, and like with these people as like a collective intelligence is what they were going after. Like the faster these people solved it and knew the answers, the faster other people were solving it that were not directly related or like impacted. So it was really interesting.
Huh. What does that even mean? I know. I'm saying like, what can? That's I mean, that's neat. I always wonder with those sort of things. That was sort of what I was talking about with the blue planet. Is like, how many of those things are measurable? Like, there's no way to say that the 5 people in this group and 5 people from this group are like have the exact same intelligence, skills, all those sort of things. Like, how could we say they're similar groups, but it's not like they're two equal variables. Like they're both not. Yeah, there's no constant involved there except for the problem they're solving.
Yeah.
Everything other than that are variables that are impossible for us to measure the potential of each of those, because like someone might just be more creative than someone that's like more numbers driven, but like somehow that all work together. I don't know. I like the idea though.
Yeah.
From what you're saying.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just interesting to hear.
For the whole manifesting thing, I think we talked about this before. Is I feel like a lot of manifesting is just trying to. I think it's like a couple things. I think one is like you're realizing what you want, and 2, because you're realizing it, you're talking about you're sort of obsessing over it a little bit, and because you're obsessing over it, you're thinking about a lot of the possibilities of how things would work, so on and so forth. So it's always top of mind. You've declared it that way, so it's always top of mind. And then I think you start seeing the opportunities in things a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like someone says something that if you had to declare this for what you wanted to do in the past, you declared it now, you might say, oh, that could help this goal because of this, because it's like you've got a lock that you've manifested, right? It's like there's this thing that you want to get open because that's what you want to accomplish, and you're seeing all these different keys come at you, and oh, maybe that key could work if I did this with it. I think, and finally, the obsession over what keys might work and how many times you try it, you eventually start finding some keys that either loosen the lock, open the lock, you know?
Yeah, I think that I don't want maybe obsessing, to me that kind of has a negative connotation, so I would say that I agree with you. I think it's like being consciously aware of what your goals actually are and having intention behind solving them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just having it top of mind and being aware of actually what you want and thinking about it more, and then you have intention behind it, and so you can see the opportunities that maybe if you weren't as clear of what you wanted or what you want to accomplish or where you wanted to be, then maybe you would have missed that opportunity, or you wouldn't have seen the key to that door, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like, that's what I always thought about that too. Like, you know, in religion, it's like you pray a lot, right?
Yeah.
And like prayers are, you're supposed to like say what you're grateful for, and you're supposed to like talk about, I don't know, I guess you do whatever you want, but you know, I was always taught like when you pray, you give gratitude, you think of like somebody else that you might be able to help, and you pray for other people, and like so you're sending out like good vibes to other people, and then you know you pray for like a healthy life, or what, you know, there's some part that you want to better your experience, right? Your human experience. Yeah. So I think like praying is the same thing too. And if you like, I've really changed how I look at religion as kind of like just ancient knowledge is being passed down. Mm-hmm. And so
Jordan Peterson's sort of view.
Yeah. Right? So it's like, maybe don't take it for what it is at face value. Like, you know, maybe it's just a story. Like, that was the best way for them to pass down this knowledge. Like, you know, don't eat swine because we don't know why it's killing people and making people go crazy and their brains are exploding. But, you know, so they'd make it a religious rule and they'd have stories and rules around that, and like the 10 Commandments and like all these things that are like very highly religious, or like there's some scientific backing to them, or there's like moral values there in these stories. And like, I think, you know, that's where we get in trouble with like religious zealots and like terrorists and stuff. All these radicals is like they're reading it too much at face value and not like reading it for what it is. It's a story.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, I'm full of shit, but
no, I don't think it's a bad interpretation, and I like that. That's one of the reasons I like Jordan Peterson, is because of those interpretations.
Yeah. You've gotten way off.
But the whole praying thing, coming back to that, I do feel like, and this is gonna sound wrong, but I feel like praying is somewhat a type of oh gosh, what is it when you cause someone to think something by repetition, like brainwashing? I feel like it's a self-imposed brainwash, almost like, and not in a bad way. You're just like preconditioning yourself to think of things a certain way, and I think that probably leads you to end up being a happier person in the long run, as long as what you're doing is trying to say, I'm grateful for all my stuff, so on and so forth. So you're really conditioning yourself to constantly be in that mindset.
Yeah.
So like
to be manifesting, giving gratitude,
yeah.
like being thoughtful of others and thoughtful of your actions and how they affect other people and how you can be of service, which is like, I mean, that's where you get the most joy out of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think, again, you know, I'm not a religious person, but I think it's kind of like a blueprint of how to trick people, that maybe not trick, but like how to get into that without them realizing it.
Yeah.
And like conditioning them is, yeah, it's like a blueprint of how to do it.
Huh.
And if you think of like when religion actually started, like most people were not literate, and like I would say that the population in general was probably not a very high IQ population. So that's another thing to think about, like, at least I think about, is kind of take that with a grain of salt too, because they're, you know, trying to teach people how to do things they can't read or write, and like maybe just don't have the skill set to learn things or want to learn. So it's like, here's how we kind of force people to do it.
Yeah, that makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's a really good I don't want to say really good. I tried to listen to it like 5 times. It's like one of those things I couldn't listen to in the car, but it was a Q&A with Jordan Peterson from a couple of years ago. And I think that they were discussing what the devil is. And if I could find it, I'll send it to you, because it was so interesting. I forget what it was. It had to do with like unbridled science or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something where I think it was like an unbridled science could be somewhat related to the devil, because I'll have to find it for you. It was so interesting because I had never thought of it the way it had. As soon as I find it, I'll send it to you, and we'll discuss it next time. But it was really cool. And that's what I like about those too. Like, he was talking about, if you go in his book, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd chapter of 12 Rules for Life, he talks about the Garden of Eden. And if you were to think of it in the terms that you're talking about, I'm going to butcher this as well, but you know, the different stages of life. Like, at first, Adam and Eve were naked, and they had no.
That's just what they knew. So
yeah, they weren't embarrassed by it or anything like that. And it was almost related to like childhood or before even having any knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, and then once Eve took the bite of,
they lost their innocence.
Yeah, it was the tree of knowledge or something like that.
Yeah.
So she gained knowledge, and now she lost her innocence, and now they were aware of their nakedness and their flaws. And it's like, so the more you learned, the more you're really sort of you're excluded from this naive life, but really that gives them the power to do whatever they want. So it's like they were cast away from this childlike mentality, but they're actually able now to pursue a life having to bear with their knowledge of their faults and everything wrong and so on and so forth, like that embarrassment and pain, but it gives them the ability to create a life with that. So I don't know, it was just sort of a neat sort of part of that book, and I'd never seen it that way, and slightly boring but it was nice to sort of see how he was referencing what he teaches, which is exactly what you said, that religion may be one of the best ways we pass down learned knowledge through those stories.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, all ancient cultures, like Native Americans and all of them, that's how they pass down their knowledge, is through telling stories and having rituals and all that kind of stuff. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can you give me 1 second here, buddy?
You're good.
There's a door open, and we can hear that washing machine going.
That's funny. I thought the washing machine was behind that door.
No, it's just that freaking loud.
We
had to get a new one. It broke 2 weeks ago. Did I tell you about this?
No.
2 weeks ago it broke. And at like 1 a.m. I finally decided I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm just going to buy a new one. So I go on. I buy it. It says it's going to be a week before it shows up. I'm like, fuck. Lindsay's not very happy. You know, it's going to take a week because we're like running out of clean clothes and all that sort of stuff. And then the next Monday comes. I'm waiting for the delivery guys to come. They show up. They're like, hey, so we're delivering this. Is the dryer ready to go? I'm like, dryer? I ordered a washing machine. He goes, says dryer. I pull out my phone. They're right. At 1 a.m., I ordered the dryer instead of the washer.
Oh.
So I send them away with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, our dryer still works. And I call Lindsay and let her know. She's like, make sure they deliver it. So I have to call them like, hey, you guys, remember that idiot who ordered the dryer by mistake? They're like, yeah. I was like, I sent you away. My wife wants you to come back and deliver it. So he came back and delivered it, and that day I ordered the washer, and it took a whole another week. So
doing laundry.
This Monday we finally, Lindsay was going up to my parents' house and getting it done, but this Monday we finally got everything delivered, like $2,600 later.
Yeah. I remember when we bought our house, we had to buy new wash machines and dryer and all that, fridge. Stuff is expensive real quick.
Expensive. You know what's ridiculous too? And like, I'm sure a fridge works the same way, but at 1 a.m. when I was buying, I'm like, oh my gosh, these washer and dryers have Wi-Fi? Score. Let's do that. And now like I have them, like, at what point would I ever need these on Wi-Fi? You have to be there to put stuff in and out of them.
If you want to be alerted that it's done.
Yeah, right? It's freaking stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it was like if you like threw a bunch of underwear in there and on a cold morning, you like be like, at 6 a.m. turn dryer on. So like you wake up, you go downstairs, you put on like a warm pair of underwear. That's all I can come up with. That's about it. Sheets, same thing. It's gonna be a cold night. Get the sheets in there, but as soon as you get the sheets out, put them on the bed and get in, they're gonna be like cold. Only a few degrees warmer than if they weren't. So like none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
They have the only reason I did it is because I saw more value in the past of getting a dishwasher with Wi-Fi, and I ultimately decided not to do it because I liked a different dishwasher better.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think about it when I saw the washer and dryer. I was like, oh, it's on Wi-Fi, score. And then I bought it. I'm like,
what?
Why?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe I know I tend to like throw stuff in the washing machine and then do a million other things and kind of forget it's there.
That's a good point.
Then like I don't like when my clothes sit there and
tend to get moldy. Yeah, mildewy.
Yeah, so maybe it bings you right when it's done. If you have it set up.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's good. Like, oh, it's done, so they don't sit in there wet very long if you can get to it.
I guess if it was like playing on your idea, you're out, you're away from home, your wife put something in the wash. She goes out. You're home. And you get a notification that, or you're on your way home that the washing's done, and you move stuff to the dryer. But that doesn't avoid the fact that they put delicates in there that can't go in the wash, and they put all these other things that get shrunk. So it still fucks you. I don't know. I feel like an idiot for buying it. I feel like someone that went out and bought a 3D TV.
Was that? I have one of those.
Yeah, I know, but were you going out there like, I need 3D?
No.
Exactly. I've got a 3D TV too, but it came with it. It wasn't like I wanted it.
It was just like a perk of the TV that you wanted.
Yeah, like we've got this technology that no one wants. Like, well, we got to do something with it.
Yeah. I watched a lot. I mean, I used it a lot in the beginning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I never used it.
I had like 8 pairs of the glasses, and I played Call of Duty in 3D.
Oh, was that fun?
No.
Why didn't work about it?
It was just too much. I almost threw up a couple times. It's like, man, you know how they have seizure warnings? It's like, oh man, I could see this happening.
Oh really?
Yeah. Turns out 3D, I guess, is not good for like kids developing minds and stuff. Like,
really?
Yeah, I read something. Maybe it's totally bullshit, but I saw something that was like, kids under a certain age shouldn't watch 3D like TV or like at the movie theaters.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That sounds like, before you said the movie theaters, I was thinking it was like Vizio, who didn't have the money to come out with 3D in person.
like smear campaign.
Smear campaign, yeah.
Propaganda. If you're on weed, don't watch 3D TV. It'll ruin your brain.
You know what's crazy? It's so funny that you were talking about the video game thing. I bought a pair of those glasses that you can lay down, and they show you directly,
like the submarine thing.
Yeah, but except so they're black glasses. They cover everything, and there's a mirror.
Yeah.
That goes down towards your feet, so you can read a book in bed and stuff. It's the craziest thing. You're laying down, and you're like doing this, but your arms seem really far away, but it looks like you're in a video game the whole time. So I sat there last night trying to go to bed, like doing this. Which is also really weird too. Is like I don't understand why this happens, and maybe it's just because there's glass over the mirror, or maybe it's like it has to be a super high quality mirror for this not to happen. But from where I was in bed versus where the wall was, where I've got a picture hanging in our bedroom, like I had my glasses on under these, and the painting I can normally see crystal clear was like sort of fuzzy.
Huh.
And I don't understand what the difference was between me seeing with my regular eye and seeing it through the reflection of the mirror. Yeah. Except maybe like the glass protecting the mirror. Because
maybe because the mirror's at like an angle too. Maybe the light's getting deflected weird.
Oh yeah, maybe
it's so far away. But I don't know if that's a thing.
I had no idea. So. But
then again, like the submarine things, because I use the same principle, right? That pops up and then they like look around with it. That they look around for distances, so maybe I'm totally not on the right track there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just something over it.
Let me do this real quick. 1 second. I'm going to go grab them real quick. Before though, I just want to make sure that we get through all of your things.
I don't remember.
We went through, take wife on 3 dates. Let me run out. Let me grab that real quick.
All right. I just have a meeting
at 10.
10, yeah.
Yeah, try these things on real quick.
Oh God.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be weird.
I need to lay down. Oh yeah,
you're
way over there.
Put like your arms out and stuff. Doesn't it feel like you're like?
They're not yours.
No, it feels very video game-ish. You know what's really weird too? Like look left and right. It does an arc instead of like.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like these.
I know. I couldn't tell if I didn't like them.
What was that movie where it was all like in like point of view? It was like,
it was Doom.
Well, yeah, there was another one like it where the guy was like running and shooting and like he was like an assassin. Or something.
What was that?
It's like Hardcore Harry or something.
Yeah, I never saw it.
That's what that feels like to me.
Well, I got these so I could read in bed better.
Those are interesting.
I thought
How do you even find those?
They're called lazy glasses. I just looked at them and they're all over. You get from Walmart, you get from Amazon. Before you take off, buddy, I just want to run.
Some asshole made millions of dollars off of lazy glasses.
Yeah, right? I'll show you the meme that caused me to buy it.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, how do you even know is the thing? Like,
I've seen them before, but I'll show you why I did.
Okay.
So on my challenges, no alcohol, which for me is super easy. I don't drink because I get headaches.
Yeah.
No sugar. I really wanted to try to do twice as many servings of vegetables as meat, and that's sort of the Chris Kresser thing. They're saying, like, you know, whenever you put a plate together, do twice as many vegetables. So yesterday I was pretty even with vegetables outweighing the meat, but definitely not twice as much.
Yeah.
Which was killer. I made some cauliflower last night. I just threw olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a bunch of red pepper flakes in there. 400 degrees for 25 minutes in the oven, and they were good.
Nice.
They were really good. Equal amount of fish to red or other meats for the month. The reason I say it is, once again, Chris Kresser was talking about trying to add more fish into the diet. And then that was also echoed by that guy that he argued that from the cardiologist that he argued on Joe's show. They sort of agreed on that. Clean house for 30 minutes every day. I feel like it takes about 20 minutes to get the kitchen done, and then I neglect the rest of the house. So normally I just clean the kitchen and leave the rest of the house. So I think after 20 minutes, if I add another 10 on, I should be able to get more done.
Yeah. What if you sorry, not to just say, like, what if your kitchen's the main goal, like, if you're doing it every day, why don't you just focus all that 10 minutes in one room and do a different one every day, or like a bathroom for 10 minutes?
So that's what my thought was too.
Yeah.
If we go with compound interest idea,
yeah,
of 10 minutes every day in a different area that's focused, in a month, it should be, what is it, because it's 3.5 hours a week at that point, so that's 7, so that's 14 hours a month of cleaning the house.
Pretty pristine.
Yeah, I would assume that the main areas that we live in would be pretty darn clean.
Yeah.
And then the overflow would be caught in those extra 10 minutes here and there.
Mm.
Now, I did it before in the past prior to having a kid, and I sort of realized yesterday 30 minutes might be just a touch too short because of having Owen, but we'll see at the end of this month.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll retool it. Be active for at least 30 minutes every day. I missed yesterday. I just couldn't get it done. I was slammed. But 4 out of the 7 days, I wanted it to be more than yoga or walking. I wanted it to be like heart rate up, things like that. So like kettlebell or running, biking. Read at least 10 pages of a book every day. Right now, I'm an hour and 45 minutes into Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday, which has some cool things I want to discuss with you next time, such as they're talking about silence, they're talking about journaling, and how important maybe journaling is. But I got that book from Rick Roll's podcast with Ryan Holiday. I actually like the podcast more than listening to the book.
So I'm starting to realize that with me too, is that I'm like, especially when I actually buy the books and start digging into them, like, well, there's a lot more unpacked in the talks, and like, I got the main gist of the whole book from the hour or 2 hour podcast. Like,
yeah.
In fact, maybe I don't need to start reading the book, like all the books, just to have a little more. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, almost like if you could get a recap of what the book is and then listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Because there is that thing that I always see on Facebook, which I'm not going on right now, and it's like
challenge number 5.
Yeah, pretty much. They talk about, like, there's a service out there that summarizes books for you. I'm like, at first I was like, that seems ridiculous. That seems like such a cheater's way. Now the more I listen to it, I'm like, that might be the way to do it.
Maybe.
But then also on top of that, I feel like sometimes it is hearing a story so many times where finally part of that story really hits you. So like maybe reading a chapter where they're saying the same message over and over again in different kinds of stories that like you really get it.
Hits you at the right time.
Yeah. Maybe it'll resonate better with you that way.
Yeah.
Then like
well, that's the other thing. If somebody else is just giving you a recap, maybe there's something that you missed that would be a good nugget for you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I swear to God, it's FOMO. That's why I'm like buying the books and like going through them, is because it's like I'm fear of missing out on something that's going to be impactful to me.
Yes.
Fuckers.
I'll say this though. The audiobook's tough with Ryan Holiday. I thought I had sort of like a hard voice to listen to. Listening to him, sort of tough for a very bright guy who writes books. That I had listening to how he reads and writes the books makes me think that him and I are very similar in the way that I would write a book. But that being said, listening to him read it, it doesn't sound like he wrote it because he's not like in it.
It's not like his voice. He's
Yeah.
just monotone.
Yeah, and not just that, but like like it, the way he reads a sentence doesn't flow at all. So like the first 10 minutes listening to the book, I'm like, okay, this is his first time reading the book. You know, hopefully an hour from now it'll get better because like he'll be in the groove. No, it's like I notice it more. Like, fuck. So I've been starting to read that one on the side. Devote 1 hour a week to learning a subject I've been avoiding. Right now it's going to be investing in the stock market. So the TD Ameritrade, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No social media on my phone unless it's for work. I was able to avoid it all day yesterday. I accidentally opened it once. I went up to like, go to like Gmail or something like that, and here's how insidious it is. I went to do it and I wasn't thinking. I didn't even think about it. I was doing something in a house. And I looked back down and Facebook was open, and I was like, "Oh, how did that happen?" And I remembered me clicking it real quick, but it wasn't like on purpose. It was out of habit. So yeah, no social media on the phone unless it's for work. I'm rarely on it on my computer, so I feel like that would keep me more in the moment. No games on my phone or app use that isn't work related. So like, you know, not going on eBay looking at stupid things I want to buy that I'm not going to end up buying. Not
What games do you play on your phone?
Lots of solitaire. Really? Yeah.
Huh.
I've got one golf game I play too.
Huh.
But like once a day for a free shot for bonus coins and whatever. So I can in time buy stuff with it. No picking up my phone once I'm down for bed. I feel like that's an important one because if I can't sleep every once in a while, I'm like, well, let me check my emails again.
Which that's not going to help you.
No, not at all. Take my wife on 2 dates. I've already got one planned. I get another. I want to say it's tougher because you guys have 2 kids. But with Owen being 6 months old, it's hard to get like parents to want to take out their evening and watch him. Yeah. So I just got to convince them one more night that it's okay.
What I found is like try and convince them if they're into it after you put him down for bed, which I don't know what time he goes to bed, but might like be kind of
6:37.
Yeah, so like I don't know, maybe do like a late dinner or something, and then the parents just have to be here. Like they don't really have to do anything.
We've done something along those lines twice and it worked out.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like what we were thinking too. The problem is we get tired at 10. So like it's just what it is. Yesterday I was super tired after doing all this stuff. Yeah. It made me really happy. Do something nice for my wife each day. Yesterday it was making dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, she needed to nap. I let her. She went upstairs. She went to nap. I ran to the store, got some chicken, got a cauliflower, came back and made it.
Nice.
I woke her up when it was done, and then get 2 new escrows. Hopefully, I'll get one later today. I have a new client I just got through Zillow yesterday, so we'll see how this all turns out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you'll be fine.
Yeah. But those are mine. I'm going to try to stick to it. The fact that I couldn't get the 30 minutes of activity in yesterday means I'm going to try to get 60 minutes today to try to make up for it.
Yeah.
So, that's the thought. Well, you got to take off, man?
Yeah, I just got to get to my kid's swim lesson.
Nice. Next Wednesday?
Sure, man.
If it changes, I'll let you know.
All right.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Continue to be powerful?
Yeah, hell yeah. Power it up. Attack it.
So many.